Hi, this is Donatelito, Kryptonium, and today we are going to talk about the proposal of the Cosmos Hub. Proposal to cut the maximum inflation in half, because there is some discussion around. Some people say, yes, cut the inflation. Some people say, no, don't cut the inflation. Some tiny people go on the Twitter and say validators not aligned with me. They are against me. I hold 5 atoms. I know best. So this is Donatelito once again, Don Kryptonium, and I will give you the piece of wisdom that you absolutely need in life. So make sure you share this video, you like this video, you love this video, and all this stuff. You see, I'm going to try to be objective. So far I deployed the vote, but I'm leaning more towards changing this right now. So I voted no, just because I wasn't thinking much about this. As I'm thinking, hey, maybe it's okay to experiment a little bit. Maybe it's okay to change it. So let's go to the proposals first and see what it states. Okay, the first thing to understand about proposal, so how the Cosmos inflation works, which is the issuance of the tokens when you stake them with every block. Okay, so the Cosmos inflation works from 7% up to 20%. I believe if there is above 66% of atoms stake, the inflation goes down to 7% and it stays at 7%. If the ratio is less than that, okay, the inflation goes up to 20%. And those who stake, imagine when there is 50% staked for a very long period of time and the inflation reached 20%, then it means people would be rewarded with 40% APR on their rewards, okay? Many argue this inflation is high, and it is high when you compare it to many of the other blockchains, right? And many people say, hey, this is the reason why why Atom token doesn't pump. And we need to change it to pump, okay? So we are going to discuss this, and first let's see at the votes, okay? So there might be different alignment of this. So let's assume why people might like the high inflation and the rewards. Imagine there is the person who looked at the atom at $6 recently and they were like, hey, I think it's gonna go up. I think it's good place to buy it, especially concerning this 20% APR, right? So if the person bought it at $6 worth $100,000 worth of atoms, it means every year they will be able to squeeze from the rewards $20,000. And as the atom price go up, that goes even higher, close to $40,000 they would be milking right now. And if the price would stay stable, in less than 3 years they get everything back. So it's like hedging against the risk, right? They don't choose the restake, but they're like, hey, if I milk it, according to my calculations, I can make back. And many people invest for that reason, for the high rewards, and they might be actually protected by the price action because Atom is listed on many exchanges. Atom has many market makers. So despite this very high inflation, despite this very high issuance, the Atom price stay very stable because of the rhetoric. A lot of price action of Atom is also related to the ecosystem performance, although there is no connection. So recently you had Celestia, right? It has a lot of moves in Cosmos, and despite Celestia maybe not being so related to Cosmos, it affects the Cosmos, and despite this high issuance, the Cosmos price still goes up, okay? But many say the price could go up more if there is less of the inflation, right? What if we cut it in half and the squeeze, the supply shock sends the price up, okay? So there is this two different teams, and many people say, hey, because of that big issuance, because of lack of Ponzinomics, there is no new investors coming. So that might be true. If you cut the inflation of the atom, if you cut the issuance, there might be supply shock. The price might go up. It might be better Ponzinomics, but once again, it doesn't mean it could happen, because most of the trading, you need to understand, happens on the centralized exchanges by the market makers. So let's assume there is 40% of atoms staked, 60% is staked, and roughly 30-something% is not staked. Those atoms are usually traded on the centralized exchanges by market makers, and they set up the price. The change of the inflation shouldn't change that trading volume. It might be short-term supply shock, like people will be, hey, there will be less issuance, the price go up. But I actually don't believe the effect will be as strong as some people expect. It could be because, as I said, the fact there is high issuance, it doesn't mean because this free atom market makers, this offload atom on centralized exchanges dictates most of the price. But that might be worth experiment, right? That might be worth experiment, making atom maybe more scarce. That might be the first good change that happens over time as we proceed to less and less issuance. Another thing that's important to understand is what is main utility of atom. And while others try to make atom more scarce, I still believe the main utility of atom, and I think many other people believe so, is the fact that it's being used. The atom is most used currency within Cosmos ecosystem, and nothing comes even close. This is the money. This is the main liquidity beyond osmosis on Osmosis, on Astroport. Kujira utilizes atom. Every project that deploys within Cosmos ecosystem utilizes atom. And I think the main goal for the atom, less so than experimenting with the tokenomics, is the making atom more and more used. The more atom is used, the more liquidity is deployed in different corners of crypto, not only in the Cosmos ecosystem, make Cosmos more demand. You don't have to have applications on the network to make token valuable, usable, and scarce. You want this to be used, and the more token is deployed across the crypto, the more utility it often has. Okay, so that's one utility. Many people don't consider that utility, but that's actually one of the best utilities to have, and I think Cosmos is best positioned to be money of the Cosmos ecosystem. And I don't think the changing of inflation have significant role in this. This change is not so significant to squeeze the shock, to make this money inaccessible. That's why I'm leaning maybe it's worth to vote yes. Some people use the argument, which is absolutely ridiculous, that this change will ruin the security. We need the issuance to keep the security. Without that, if there will be less rewards, all the atom gonna be unstaked and the whole network collapses. You see, this argument is most nonsensical argument I ever heard, and it's not gonna happen. If you slash in this change of inflation, I assume will have close to no effect of the bonded ratio within Cosmos. It might be few percent at best. There will be no other effect. In fact, now as the inflation is at 14%, it will come down to 10%, and the staking APR will come back to 13%. And that was the staking APR in 2021 when the bonded ratio was high. You see, I don't see relevance. So whoever using argument that this change will make network not secure, you might assume that the intelligence possessed by those people is not very high. Okay, so that's one. But also opposite group, the community members that hold 5 atoms saying the validators are not aligned with them. You can read through those tweets that they don't get that nuanced take of what is atom, and they assume that once it gets slashed, the atom price go 10x. This is another group of absolute dimwits, the Cosmos dimwits, the people who stand for nothing, represent nothing, and have nothing interesting to say. You can see, like, you can easily see through that tweets, right? So I'm aligning like, hey, maybe it's worth to change it. The one thing about that change is like, I was really assuming there will be some new mechanism, some more of the nuanced. Sorry, my cat is keep meowing. I'm gonna check on her. She just pooped. That's why she's meowing. There is no other reason. She wants to clean the poop right after. She doesn't like to wait. Once she poop, 1 second, and she meow, clean my poop, clean my poop. I can't wait. I don't like poop being here. You see? She keeps saying. But what we are talking about, meow, she really takes away my attention. So yeah, I wouldn't expect much of the price change. I think that you can check the Chango, like she voted no, but she thinks it's like it could be made better way. So this new change is like nothing's great. Like it literally meant to be Manfaat Works, but all it came up with like, hey, let's just cut it in half. It's not even. Let's just make max at 10. Like months of thinking, months of working on designing a new tokenomics of Cosmos, receiving grants, power brain, just to come to conclusion. Let's just cut the max inflation in half. But I'm not teasing. Maybe that's the best change. Maybe the best change is in simplicity. So maybe that's actually okay. So I'm willing to change to yes. I rely on I'm in the bottom set of if you look at the validators, and I assume soon I might actually drop because I forgot to apply for a new badge of Interchain Foundation delegation, so I might not be around for very long. But for someone on the bottom, those rewards are like are good. It's actually profitable, not nothing crazy, but it pays for the servers, and you have extra change to maybe gamble it on Levana. But the top validators, and I'm actually quite positively surprised that, for example, Zero Knowledge, that actually benefits heavily from those big rewards, voted yes. Game voted yes. Informal System, Swiss Staking, Strangelove, Inclusion, Polkachu, and so on. They vote yes, despite being benefitors of this high issuance. But it will be really difficult to convince many other large validators to vote yes, because, as I said, they maybe have in 3 years, they think like, hey, I recoup my investment, right? Like, it's not the time yet. And we have a lot of them that still did not vote. I expect Everstake will vote, and Everstake, don't know if majority of the atom is theirs or delegated. I believe those who have majority of the atom, they might more be willing to vote yes, but those who have big stake delegated to them are more likely to vote no, right? Because that's better business for them will be here. So it depends on if Everstake has it. You could see SG1, absolute dimwits. I'm surprised at number 2. It's not how they vote before, but you see, like, they were slightly attacked on the Twitter and they changed it. SG1 is absolutely the definition of, I will stop here, but this is the most bearish point. This validator is most bearish point of Cosmos. Stakefish yet didn't vote. It shouldn't Stakefish money. Or those rewards are not important. We'll see how Cosmos Station vote. Those votes will be important here. We'll see how Sika will vote and P2P validator. So I think these few votes will decide of everything. As I said, I might change it. I might change it to see like how it will work. So I need to think a little bit more. But I hope those reasons that I'm giving you help you a little bit. It's sometimes more nuanced, and I wouldn't expect price to go crazy. You can see the change of tokenomics of Ethereum. It had no effect, right? And I expect the same way here. But most important, making Atom used across crypto surely will be most important. And I was thinking personally, like, what if you change that issuance? Maybe the community pool can be used in an effective way of ensuring that Atom is used, right? By deploying liquidity into different protocols. Those who actually utilize the Atom, so that would be, again, Neutron, Osmosis, Kujira, and so on, so on, so on, to ensure that the Atom is used, okay? And with that, Donatelito is out. Till the next time.